Hello, my name is Shay Walton, and I'll be teaching a lesson about preterit versus imperfect. Um, what I've learned is that Spanish has two past tenses, which are the preterit and the imperfect. Most verbs can be put into either tense, depending upon the meaning. In this lesson that I'll be teaching, you'll be learning to conjugate regular AR verbs in the preterite and the imperfect. You'll also learn the basic difference between the preterite and the imperfect so that you can begin using them like in the correct way, because I know that most people don't really understand how to use the preterite versus the imperfect. Um, to conjugate a regular AR verb in the preterite, one can simply drop the ending, the AR, and add like the aste, like you can also add amos, astes, aaron, the e, and sometimes to conjugate regular AR verbs in the imperfect, one can simply drop the ending AR and add abba, abbas, abba, abamos, abes, aban. Um, when one can compare the verb like hablar to conjugate in the preterite and the imperfect. When conjugating it to the hablar to the preterite, you can say hable. For the imperfect, abiyaba, um, abieste. For that's the preterite, and for the imperfect, to say hablabas, habio. For the preterite, for the imperfect, you would use habiyaba. Remind you that we're conjugating hablar. And for habeas hablastes, which is the preterite, you can conjugate it imperfect by using abiabes, ablaron. For the preterite, for the imperfect, you'd use hablaban. How many minutes? 3. When speaking, like generally speaking, the preterite is used for actions that are used in the past that are seen as if they're already completed. Use of the preterite tense implies that the past action has a definite beginning and like a definite end. For a sentence like Juan habló de la una hasta las dos, it clearly is stated that it has a beginning and an end, which shows that it's a preterite. It is important to realize that the beginning and the end may not always be clearly stated. One example is Juan habló dos horas. Obviously, it's not clearly stated. Generally speaking, the imperfect is used for action that are already done in the past. Bear in mind that those are sentences or actions that are already done in the past. One can easily learn the basic differences between a preterite and the imperfect. Remind you that the preterite tells us specifically when action already took place, and the imperfect tells us in general when an action takes place. Although the difference may appear complete or simple, this actually a complex topic, and people will always have difficulty in identify the preterite from the imperfect. But if one thinks carefully about it, one will be able to tell differences. Some list, again I will repeat some list of the preterit. Like AR verbs, you use aste, o, amos, astes, Aaron, hable, hableste, hablo, hablamos, habiestes, and hablaron. Those are the preterit regular AR verbs. For the imperfect regular AR verbs, haba, abas, aba, abamos, abes, aben, and some words that are used like imperfect, hablaba, hablabas, hablaba, hablamos, habes, hablan. And this is the ending of my short presentation on the imperfect versus the preterit. I hope you learned from my presentation that you can use in your future Spanish vocabulary. Thank you. My name is Walton.